So, hello fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728. And I want to talk about a lot of different things. But I guess the most poignant thing, the deepest thing that I want to talk about is how people feel that technology is going to save us from global warming. And this is something that I definitely used to believe in. I thought that technology was always going to save us. Um, just antibiotics. If you look at digging wells in terms of being able to retrieve oil, oil is a good thing, right? The Industrial Revolution, that's a good thing. Being able to travel if you need to get medical care itself, that's a technology. Aside from antibiotics, surgeries, being able to store blood, being able to diagnose um, ailments, all these things are great. And I thought, yeah, definitely we are going to be able to fix climate change with um, technology. But I think one of the biggest things that we don't get is that technology is not the problem. Technology, as a matter of fact, technology is not the problem in terms of that's the thing that's lacking. We don't have the necessary technology. It is all of the technologies that have put us where we are. Technology has enabled us to avoid death, and that's why there's so many of us. Um, you know, infant mortality is way down. People are living longer. Um, so there's more of us present than there's ever been in the entire history of the world. At the same time, we have been able to transform so much of the world, and that is the problem. And I don't know that there's any one technology that's just, you know, that's what we're expecting. Because I was talking to somebody online, and they were like, "Yeah, fusion is, as I was telling this guy, fusion is not happening. It's not happening." One of the things is that if you don't know anything about fusion, you read the headlines and you think, yeah, in 5 years. Kind of like Elon Musk's um, uh, self-driving. Next year, next year, next year, next year, next year. Or what is that thing? The underground subway that Elon Musk was talking about. Yeah, next year, next year, next year. It's not happening. It's not coming. It's sorry, but well, I wanted to give an example of how technology is not really going to help. So, for example, containerization. That is a big technology. We don't look at it that way, but putting everything in standard containers, shipping containers, means that once the things get to the port, I was reading an article and they were saying that the trade deals and treaties and so on between all the different countries in the world as compared to containerization, which one had the greatest effect on global trade? And they were saying hands down is containerization. Even if there were never any treaties or free trade agreements, containerization completely revolutionized how much things um, are traded between countries. I think we probably overestimated that anyway, because if you compare things over a period of time, there's more people and more people mean more things were going to get done anyway. So I think maybe those calculations needed to have been done per capita. But the whole idea is that there was a lot of wasted effort involved in moving things from one place to the next. Meaning you pack things up to get them to the port. When you get them to the port, you have to unpack and pack again onto the ship. Then you have to unpack things from off of the ship in a particular way, and then you distribute it however you distribute it off of the ship. The whole idea is that because of containerization, as far as I understand it, as far as I see it, the packing didn't have to get done at the port. You just bring the container to the port already packed. So it means that all these other people, aside from port workers, can pack the containers. It's not like containerization reduced. You did reduce the need for extra packing at the port, but you also, I guess you reduced the need for it. So that reduced some of the overhead. But there's not going to be any technology that can reduce CO2 in the environment. That is not going to work the same way. And the reason why it's not going to work the same way is because the whole problem that we have right now is that we used a whole bunch of energy to get where we are. Now we need to use just as much energy as we used in the past. Well, I think it's just as much energy to create a parallel system in order for us to move over from the fossil fuel burning system that we have now to that other system that's not fossil fuel burning, and then shut down the fossil fuel burning infrastructure that we have. So anything that we do in order to, it's kind of like we have built up a skyscraper and we need to move everything over to the next skyscraper. So we need to build another skyscraper. There's no way around it. And the thing about it is, we look at the situation and we're kind of like, okay, well, we have modern technology, so we can build a skyscraper, the new one that we have to build to move over all of our stuff to. It's not going to be as hard to build. But you know what? It's probably going to use an equivalent amount of energy to build it. And you can't get away from the fact that you're building another skyscraper. You can't get away from that. There's no way to twist it. You're not going to use a third of the energy as you use, I think, building the first one to build the second one. It's not. That's not going to be the case. I mean, I wish somebody would do a good comparison, but let's say you build the first skyscraper out of stone and concrete, and now you're going to build the other one out of metal. And, the weight of the new skyscraper is not going to be as heavy, but I am pretty sure that there's a lot of energy that's involved in building a metal skyscraper. It's probably not going to be as heavy. Maybe it'll last twice as long, but I am pretty sure there's going to be a vast amount of energy that is going to be involved in building even this steel skyscraper. There's no getting around that. And in some ways, I would imagine that we use more energy. Because it's like, Okay, if you look at a human being built from old biological um, means, a human being doesn't burn that much energy. Now, if you look at a computer, which doesn't even work at the same level as a human being, that probably burns a lot more energy than a human being. You can give a human being like 10 apples and you're good for a day. I don't think if you burn 10 apples and you get energy from that, um, that it's going to run a computer for an entire day. I don't think that that's how that is going to work. Um, as far as I know, it takes a lot more energy to do that. Yeah. So there's that. I think that, and I've talked about it before, about the fact that we think that the new thing is going to be free. But I of a computer program and I say, oh, it's going to be easy, man. And I always, 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 always underestimate how much effort it's going to take to build that computer program. I always do. Which is why I don't give people estimates anymore. You know, I just go ahead and build something very close to what it is for free, and then if they want it, they get it, and if they don't, well, I have something that's built. Maybe somebody else in the future might use it, and I have the experience, whatever. You know, that wasn't working out too great for me, but I think it's really more about demand. Maybe I just need to move into another field of work or something like that. But yeah, that's that. And I guess that's what I will leave it at now. There is no technology that's going to give us free infrastructure. That's what we think of. And we always forget that all of these mega projects, they are always, always, always go over budget by huge amounts every single time. It's just amazing how we just don't understand that. We don't see it. Anyways. Yeah, so that's it for me. Thanks for listening. Peace.